Give us the hiring process, because what happened is back in the day when the big car haulers were out, the ones, and you guys are probably big, but the ones where you had to start part time, and then they laid you off, and you had to do that for a number of years. A lot of the big companies, that's how they work, and that's the reason I never got into auto transport, is because all these layoffs where you make good money if you can get past the layoffs, but I couldn't do 2 years of layoffs. So what's the process for someone coming onto your team? Is it still that way in the auto transport industry?
I don't think so. I think the shortage of drivers, the shortage of quality of drivers is a big reality now. The quality is the main word. There's too much square peg round hole going on right now. So it takes a proper recruiter to fine tune the candidate that they require, because you have to have a goal. You have to have a profile. You can't put a guy or a girl into a truck that's automatic if they've never used a stick shift before. So it's all about case management, time management, and finding the right people. And there are a lot of good people out there. You just have to sort of filter through the bits and pieces to find them.
Yeah. What's your perfect profile? You talked about a profile, and for those who are maybe not familiar with how recruiting works, we don't want to think we're profiling people. I know the police have a bad rap on that, but how do you choose the right person? Who is the right person for somebody hauling auto?
Well, I think the carrier and also the potential candidate have to ask themselves two questions. What do I want? What don't I want?
Yeah.
And if you can list, and I encourage people to sit down with pen and pad and write down everything that they want in a job and everything that they don't want in a job.
Right.
And then you take keywords out of all that information, and you can identify the carrier of choice that fits your profile.
Yeah.
The carrier itself has to have a profile, because if you don't have a goal, short-term or long-term, you're just shooting into the dark. Car hauling is a unique kind of business. It's not like pull away from the dock, shut the doors, and drive down the road 400 miles. It's nothing to do with that. Car hauling is a different kind of cat. It's big money, but it's big responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
You've got a lot of gauges you've got to deal with. You've got decks. You can slide them forward, backwards, sideways, up, down. There's a lot of levers. There's a lot of hydraulic. Then you've got to secure your cars onto the truck. So, it's one thing to drive the truck, but you've also got to be able to control the truck, because your center of gravity is totally different than driving LTL.
Yep.
Freight. You're outside 97% of the time in rain and snow and ice.
Yep.
You're on metal, so it's going to be slippery.
Yep.
So the fear of heights is not going to work in favor.
Yeah.
Once you get a car up there, you'll see the car haulers with their height sticks.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure that they're not going to shear off the top 5 cars underneath the bridge.
That's right, because Chrysler will decide when they want to make a convertible, and it's not the truck driver's time to decide.
Well, let's say it has happened. So, but putting cars on a truck is not just putting them on 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's a science. These cars got to go in a certain way. The first car that goes on over top of the truck itself goes backwards.
Right.
And if you wonder why they go backwards, is because the weight of the car is heavier in the front. So if you go backwards, you're taking a lot of weight off of the steers itself. So there's a mathematical precision to it. And some of these guys, sometimes they'll take 4 hours to load a truck, and then I've seen guys load it in 45 minutes.
Yeah. And that's my experience. I used to have a relative who hauled cars. He was an owner operator and did this, and he did them from basically, I think, Oakville here to Michigan was his run every day. He just turned that all, and he was able to load them in an hour. And, it was good money, but he's been doing this, 30 years or whatever. He had a real track record. How do these guys get paid? Because I understand that you get paid by mile and then you get paid by car, or how you load? What's the big difference?